talk about the rents due. Okay? And when I mean the rents due, I'm talking about reparation. I had a conversation with a couple of brothers earlier this week talking about reparations. How we're the only minority, right, that's not being paid reparations. Yet, out of the three minorities that were victimized by white supremacy, we were the main ones who were affected. We were the main ones who were victimized. Okay, we were the main ones who built America. Okay, let's be real. Let's call it the way it is. America would be no different than Mexico. Be a big old Mexico if it wasn't for slavery. Okay, it wasn't for slavery or the kidnap, rape, and even murder and enslavement of the African American. And yet, that situation was bigger than the Holocaust for the Jews. It was bigger than the mass genocide that was perpetrated against our Indian brothers, okay, and sisters. But out of those three, Afro-Americans continue to not, what happened to 40 acres and a mule? That deal was thrown out the window. Yet, if you look at all three of those minorities right here in America, they have, the Jews, the Indians too, they have benefited from their reparations. Okay? We've never been paid ours, and we're the main ones suffering. It was a skit back in 2003, a skit by David Chappelle. And he was basically showing what if blacks got paid their reparations, their overdue reparations. Do you remember that thing? Remember that skit?
I remember it. Crime went down to zero.
Exactly. Crime went down to zero. GMC became the number one car maker in the world, even though it is still number one car maker in the world. But then in fact, if you had stock in a Cadillac, it went through the roof. All right, if you put a buy stock on Cadillac, man, you would be killing it right now. All right, but in the process of all that, we were just giving all our money back. Okay. Now, when I think about reparations, and my suggestion to everybody when you talk about reparations, don't think about getting a huge $1 million paycheck from the government, okay, or more. I would think about how we can use reparations if we ever were to get it. Okay, and then also, let's talk about it. See, when you go and you talk about reparations to any of these candidates that are running for president, you get crickets in the room. Okay, you get crickets in the room. Even Obama, he made an attempt at it. I'll give him that. He made an attempt at it. Give reparations for certain states, in certain states. He made an attempt over in Michigan, as a matter of fact, over in Detroit. What was the first thing Fox News did? The hypocrites over at Fox News, they went on to say, oh, well, reparations will never fix the problem. It will never fix the problem in the black community. It will never fix race relations. I beg to differ on that one. See, whenever the white supremacy sees that you got the idea, sees that you waking up from the bullshit, their objective is to discourage you. Cash, this country rules. Cash is power. Cash rules everything around me. Cream hit the money. Dollar bill, y'all. That's some real word right there. Okay? And when black folks start getting their minds out of the bullshit, out of the empires of the world, the
the love and hip hop of the world, and getting their mind fixed towards fixing the community, that's when the white man gets shook. Okay? Prime example. When those young men down there at Missouri University, those football players decided they're not going to play last year, that they were not going to play, what happened was, oh my God, they're the worstest thing on two legs. What they're doing, they're being disobedient. Okay, they're breaking the rules. No, that's a white man saying, white supremacy saying, oh, wait a minute, hold up, these brothers done got smart, now they're going after the money. They're going to cost that university, I believe, $2 million a week or more. All right, and all they wanted was the university's head, I believe that's the head dean of the university removed, head administrator removed. All right. And once they figured it out, they're not going to play. They're going to cost the university $1 million. Guess what? That administrator was removed within a week or two. All right. And here comes Donald Trump. Oh, and I was president. I was running that university. I would have had all those boys suspended and their scholarships removed. That goes out to all you Donald Trump fans out there. Don't even think Donald Trump is one of the biggest white supremacists there is. But we did that show already. I already proved my point in that. But once again, whenever black people go after the money, white folks get shook. White folks here in America get shook big time. Because that's the power. Black Lives Matter, putting your fist up, laying in the street, and all this other stupid shit, that don't mean nothing. Okay? It's not going to work. All right? Boycotting stores, boycotting Christmas, boycotting the main purchasing time of the year, which is basically runs between October all the way into December, which could cause a major financial collapse in spending, be the fact that we control 30% of the spending in this country. Now you're getting somebody's attention. Okay. Hey, V, do you know the exact age when Johnny Cochran died?
No, I don't. I guess he was in his 60s, I guess. I'm not sure.
I thought he was in his late 50s or something like that. Man.
He could have been. Could have been.
Well, anybody in the listening audience, they know the age, correct me on this, But I want to go out and say he was about 56. Do you know why they killed Johnny Cochran? They killed him. They killed him. Said he didn't die. The guy was I didn't hear he had any real health problems until he died. It's just the same as Prince falling out dead at age 57, falling out dead. Okay. Michael Jackson, poof, dead. One thing I've noticed about black men like them who just fall out and die out of nowhere is when they go and they won their cases for their money, especially Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was about to win. He was about to take over Sony. Okay? He was about to take over Sony. He owned 50% of Sony. It was just a matter of time before he owned 51%. He was about to take Sony. Sony, the number one media conglomerate in the world, owned by a black man. Okay? First they try to go hit him, basically ruin his reputation by calling him a child molester. And when he beat that and found out the boy was paid off to say that crap, okay, he beat that rap. So the next thing to do is to kill him. So he winds up dead. Prince just beat Time Warner for all the rights to his music and all the rights to the music that he was associated with. He had a lot of artists under him too as well. All right?
wound up dead. And when Johnny Cochran decided to turn his direction towards black consciousness and wanted to fight for reparations in America, guess what? He was going to bring it to the United Nations for the overdue reparations in this country. Guess what? He's dead too. Okay? You know, does anyone notice a pattern here? You know, when we fight for the money, now we're getting smart. And now you got to go. Okay? Omar Gaddafi wanted to bring all the presidents over there in Africa together. And they wanted to create their own currency based on gold and oil.
Charles dropped off the line. But while we're waiting for Charles to call back, Charles Tuckermack is reparations. The bill is overdue. Call in at 215-383-3803. That's 215-3803 if you want to participate in the conversation. And we have Charles back. Charles, you're back on the mic.
You know, see, now we're talking about money. And you see how things happen? Out of nowhere, our lines are cut. Okay? Just like that. All right? When we start talking about the money, now things have gotten serious. Like I said earlier, when Omar Gaddafi decided that he wanted to go and get all the other presidents over in Africa to start building their own currency, cut out the U.S., cut out the euro, cut out the British pound, all right? Back all their currency by gold and oil. Oh, well, he's a terrorist. We got to kill him. Boom, he's dead too. Okay. See how this all works? Reparations here in America, do you know how that could change if it's done right? Not getting a check in the mail, you know, worth $1 million, you run off and you give it right back to white supremacy by buying about 50 Cadillacs. But how can we do it to where it would affect our community and change our community? We talk about black on black crime and everything like that. But what if we got paid our reparations? What if it was paid back in grants, okay, and bonds, stocks, okay? What if you got paid reparations and you got loans to build businesses, grants to build businesses, grants to build businesses in our community, all right? Set the structure for like the Black Wall Street. All right, we got grants to build houses, to build communities, to build our own schools, build our own entertainment. You know, get a real BET, not that bullshit that's on 21. Okay, on channel 21. All right, here. That ain't owned. That BET is not owned by black folks anymore. Okay, Jet, Ebony, those are magazines. They're not owned by black folks anymore. Okay? So therefore, when we try to come up with our own content, it gets whitewashed. So imagine a world to where we get our reparations and what we could do with them. Okay? You got to remember the reason why there's no justice, there's no peace, there's no money. Okay, it's just that simple. Okay. We don't go out here, even the little money that we got, we don't invest in our own endeavors. We don't invest in our own companies, in our own small businesses. Okay. Right now, like I said last week, we got a movie that me and Al Greaves is trying to make. Okay, Frustrated 3. And like I challenged y'all brothers before about the passport, I'm challenging y'all brothers again. This is our movie. When I say that, I mean all of us.
not just Al, not just me. It's all of us. Al can easily go to BET and ask for them to whitewash his movie just so he can get it made. Okay? Get rid of all the content that is beneficial to us. Okay? But now, we have a chance to make our own movie. But going back to, and like I said, as far as that, we need funding to make this movie. We're going ahead good. We got about close to over $2,000. We need about another 68 more. So brothers, please keep the donations coming. All right, keep that. We're gonna have Al probably on later on tonight. You know, keep it in there, keep the flow, keep it more. Give us the progress reports on Frustrated 3 and everything like that. All right. But as we go back to the subject, right? You know, imagine a world of reparation, okay, to where we finally get paid. I don't mean getting paid in our pockets, but getting paid in grants, stocks, bonds, stuff like that, to where we can rebuild our bad neighborhoods, to where we can put schools in there and the right teachers. Okay, imagine that. Okay. You know, and I just want to put, you know, I just sat there and I had to think about it. Well, you know, if we had the grants and the loans, Black Wall Street can be rebuilt again. Guess what? White supremacy knows that. That's the reason why we don't have it. So when y'all go, it's a shame I couldn't bring this up in last week's show. Yesterday I think we had our caucuses here in the United States, here in Pennsylvania. I think also in New York too. That should be on the voting ballot. We should push to have this on the voting ballot. We should ask our leaders, and our future leaders in this case, Hillary Clinton, okay, or Bernie Sanders. We already know the answer with Donald Trump. No. That's not going to happen. All right? But I would say, I would hold the fire to Hillary Clinton's feet, and even Bernie Sanders. Okay? Because the bill's overdue. Oh, well, I wanted to take some callers here. If you want to get in on this conversation, you just press 1. We'll bring you in on this call here. Also, I want if you're listening out there, you want to get in on the show and answer any questions, you can call area code 215-383-3803. It's the Charles Tyler Show. Tonight's topic is reparations. All right, V, how are our lines looking?
First call, I believe, is from down under. Your mic is open.
Hey, hello. This is Teddy from Australia.
Australia, what up, Mike? What's going on, man?
What's going on, mate? What's going on, Charles? What's going on, B?
All right. How's it going?
Oh, good, mate. Very good, interesting topic. Reparations. It's time to Uncle Sam to pay up, because we got a strong case. We got a strong case against the United States government.
We ain't pushing.
They violated so many human rights laws and labor laws and discrimination and mental abuse, physical abuse.
Rape.
But the thing is, though, taking over white supremacy, man, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
you brought up some good points about Michael Jackson and Prince and Johnny Cox.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taking on them white folks in America is not, it's deadly.
Well, the thing about it is that, those were few that stood out to be targets.
Mm-hmm.
So what if it's a lot of us? Okay?
Yeah.
Like I said, what's on TV today, and even on the internet, that's meant to keep us, from thinking about things like this, keep us distracted and everything like that. You know? All right? And then we got these so-called, online popularity guys, namesake Tommy Sotomayor and all these other clowns out here, coons, who talk about everything else other than the problem going on. Like, in fact, he points the finger directly at us.
You talking about Tommy Sotomoisture?
Yeah, Tommy Sotomoy's crispy, in other words, as people would say. All right, the guy talks about, blacks is this, blacks is that, blacks are horrible, this and that, right? But he never talks about fixing the black community. He talks about, black women had done this week, and this black fool has done that this week.
There's nothing but that negative content.
Well, like
almost every day.
When you're a tool of white supremacy, and your job is to keep your audience basically off subject, basically off black conscience, and then call it black conscience and disguise it as black conscience. You get your, you get your little rep, you get your little, the master's gonna pay me this week, type of thing. And that's not just starts with him; it also goes with entertainment when we're dealing with shows like The Empire, Power, Love and Hip Hop, and all this sort of stuff. Now, we see how blacks always, African Americans rather, always rally to these shows. Okay?
Yeah. But hey, Charles, we are taking L's. We're taking a lot of losses in the black community. A friend of mine down, this is off topic and things like that. He noticed a lot of the clothing wear for the black kids and stuff like that in the mall is more feminized.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to. Anyway, we'll do another. Matter of fact, that's another topic for another show. You got so much material.
We're gonna cross that topic very soon.
Oh yeah.
Back on the reparations.
Yeah, back on the reparations. Let me give you a prime example of what's going on. White folks don't want black folks to have anything in America. Not to own their homes, not to, all this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna cut the story real short. I got two examples about my mother. One example, my uncle retired from the military and he bought a house in South Carolina. He passed away on Lou Gehrig's disease. God rest his soul. So his insurance money the kids got, but instead of paying the house off, you use that as a family home. They use that money to go buy SUVs and stuff like that. Now my cousin, instead of maintaining the house, she got behind on the mortgage payments. I think 6 months or something like that. Now this is the white man trick. They told her, you know what? If you don't want the house, you can walk away, and just walk away. The bank will take care of the rest. That's the white man trick. Come to find out, the bank manager is doing a favor for a friend that's a lawyer. He actually wanted the house. He just picked up the note, paid it off, and not only it's not the house in South Carolina, it's the house plus 4 acres or 5 acres, 6 acres. So it's worth a whole lot of money. So when my mother found out what was going on, my own cousin changed the will on my uncle, which is a big no-no. Oh, excuse me. I was cooking pizza. Anyway, big no-no. But she didn't my mom didn't try to turn her in anything like that. So my cousin, saw what was going on. So she went away. She knows she did the wrong thing. So my uncle, my aunt from Connecticut, and my mother from Texas, they all pulled their money together and they helped pay it off the mortgage bit by bit. Right on the white man's nose. So the loan was getting paid off. at the last payment, she told her sister, say, hey, check this out. We're gonna play a trick on this guy. We're gonna put turntables on this dude. So she called the thing and say, hey, I'm gonna send my last payment in, I'm gonna write the check and stuff like that. Okay, Miss Manway. I noticed this should be your last payment, and the loan will be paid off, and you'll have the house note, and you already paid your house tax stuff. Yeah, it's all current. Okay. And my mom said, I said, hey, could you call the bank manager and make sure he got the check? He got the check. He just wanted to bring him out the office. As soon as he came out the office and found out that house is paid off, his jaw just dropped.
Because, like I said, they'll show us the fast money. We get all crazy over the fast money, while they're laughing at us on the long term money, which is almost 100 times worth more. And when you see that y'all didn't fall for that trick, y'all paid off the house. Now he's seen all his money that he was hoping he was getting get just poof gone. Okay. But let's talk about the many ones who haven't gone out. Like for example, I even start with just Michael Jackson. Just recently, his estate, his family took the $750 million robbery money, in my opinion, from Sony, so Sony can buy out the rest of his rights.
You know that's a low ball amount, right? You know it's a low ball amount.
They robbed. You might as well say they stuck a gun in their face and took Michael Jackson's and basically Michael Jackson's stake inside Sony away.
Yeah.
That $750 million ain't shit. Okay.
That's a drop in the ocean. That's breadcrumb money.
Exactly. But do you think if Michael Jackson was here, he would have took $750 million of chump change?
Nah. You know it's worth billions. You know it's worth billions, right, Charles? You know it's worth billions.
He would have took Sony to the brink of, you know what happened? That's what he would have done, Sony. All right. Because his goal was to take Sony over.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why he was going to have that final tour. That's it. No more touring.
Yeah.
I'm done in entertainment. Now, Michael Jackson, the entertainer, he's going to sit down, and Michael Jackson, the businessman and new owner of Sony, is going to stand up.
Listen to a lot of celebrities that have been around Mike. Mike is a smart guy.
Oh, Mike
very
is very smart. Very smart. He's very smart, and that's the reason why he had to go. He knew he was about to take over a major. The same, and like I said, the same thing is going on with Bill Cosby. Going back to him.
He tried to get NBC, and guess what happened? They killed his son.
They killed his son the first time. He kept coming. When he kept coming, now they got some sexual charges going against him. Now over here in Montgomery County, right here.
All these old busted up ass women, just coming out.
But the thing about it is,
and that one woman, she's the biggest hoe in fucking Hollywood.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. That trick that put the legs behind the back of her head. We know.
Oh, okay. Biggest freaking Hollywood.
Yeah, but I can't breathe because Bill Cosby, he just brought up against me, and now I can breathe. Yeah, you know what? The thing is this. This is, like I said, Bill Cosby is trying to make a move on NBC. All right? And he kept coming. He kept coming. And the thing about it is, they had to go. They had to take his son out. When that didn't work, now they got to destroy his reputation. And like I think I said on the previous show, they came out with a show recently with David Allen-Greer as the leader of this, main star of the show. And they literally took a dump right on his legacy at NBC. And try to mark him as, well, he's done all these things to all these women. Wait a minute. It's been proven in law he ain't done anything. And the more
he ain't done anything, no.
But here's the thing. The more this case stays around, the
more these women are made out to be straight up liars and whores that they are. Okay. All right. But up here recently over here in Montgomery County, you know, they actually uphold a prosecution case against Bill Cosby. They canceled the deal that Bill Cosby made with the district attorney at the time. Because even that district attorney knew, hey man, this is the guy who's been cheating on his wife and the woman trying to get him for his money, and now he's trying to leave her and she ain't trying to hear that. So she's gonna go and try to destroy his reputation. This is not no rape. This is some personal stuff. I'm not even gonna go after it, you know. All right.
Mm-hmm. Between Bill and the wife, that's personal stuff. As far as these allegations, happened 30 years ago.
Bill Cosby was nothing more at best as a cheater, but not no rapist. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he cheated on his wife.
Hey brothers. Hey brothers, I'm sorry to interrupt.
You?
This is Grease.
What's going on, Al? What's going on, Al?
What's going on, Al?
Hey, first of all, before we set the show off, you're gonna start putting some respect on my name. It's Al Grease, not Grease. You're gonna start respecting my name.
Wow, I'm trying, man.
Don't say Al Grease, all right.
I've been struggling with your name for
man.
years, man.
You're gonna start, all three of y'all gonna start respecting my name. You're gonna put some respect on it, you understand? All three of y'all.
Okay, man.
I've been waiting all week to do that, man. I knew he was gonna mess up. I was waiting all week to do that, man. Yeah, hey, but I want to give a shout out to Teddy, man. I appreciate that donation that you gave me, man, to do the film, man, and that means a lot, man. I appreciate your support, man. Because there's guys like you that's able to allow me to do what I do, to allow me to do the content and the information that I want to do, the films I want to make, to come back and give out to the group and tell our stories without having to be compromised, without it being compromised.
Exactly.
And
earlier.
Yeah, that's the whole importance of it, man. I can go get money from other places, but the story ain't gonna be the same. It's gonna be compromised.
It's gonna be whitewash.
Okay, yeah.
So to be a part of the group, man, and have brothers like yourself, like-minded brothers like yourself, come out and support me, man, and to get this film out and to do it the way we want to do it, to tell the story the way we want to tell it. That means a lot to me, man. So I appreciate your support, man. When I heard you on, man, I was telling him, yo, get me in. I want to shout out Teddy, man. So I appreciate your support, Teddy.
And Teddy, just so you know, right? You know, your donation, brought you over, which is over the $50 mark, right? Is also making you qualified for the drawing for the Artist's Pay trip to Brazil for the filming of Frustrated, filming of Frustrated 3 plus the beach party in November. Okay, so
thanks.
Appreciate it. In there, yeah.
Charles and Al. Hey, I got a lot of stories about Thailand. Some of the stories it involves one of my friends. I'll tell you at the beach party.
Okay, well,
it was
have to sit down on that one.
Yeah, hopefully, man, we get you. If you're comfortable, man, we get you to tell it on camera.
Exactly.
As if you're comfortable with it, man, we get you to tell the story on camera, man.
I'm comfortable with it, man.
Yeah.
Some of the story, I was like, the do's and don'ts down in Thailand.
Yeah.
I've been to Thailand. I've been to Thailand before, and Sherlock Holmes is the expert down there, so he'll tell you the rundown what the do's and don'ts too. But I got some stories that it's funny.
Well, we want to go down there with Sherlock. We're trying to get it all together so we can. He's planning a trip, I think, in July. So we want to go out there with Sherlock. Sherlock was in Frustrated 1 too, man. Great brother. Brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He also works at the airline as a firefighter in the airline, and he's doing a buddy pass, man. He said, yo, anybody else donate to the film, man? Yeah, I'll throw a buddy pass and do something, man. So it's like like I said, like-minded brothers like yourself, man, that contribute to this project is going to make this project great.
Yeah,
it's going to make it what it is, and not compromise the material, and not have it slanted one way or another to to appease somebody. We can do it the way we want to do it. Tell our story.
Exactly.
Oh, actually, Al, I wanted to donate $1,000, but I got that money for something else. I want to do like like forex training and stuff like that. So I'm gonna use that money for my other projects, stuff like that. But I really want to donate $1,000 to your film. I said, what? Let's put the $100 on there. Let's put the $100 on there and just get it started. Get the momentum going.
Yeah. Every little bit counts, man. So I appreciate that, man.
If you got any future donations, they'll be accepted too. That goes out to everyone out there in the listening audience right there. All right, we definitely, like I said, going back earlier, here's a chance where we can build, like I said, our own movie right here. The Black Lyric Option, Frustrated 3.
That's the importance of it, having your media behind it. You got the group started. Charles is doing the weekly radio shows, and you got a gentleman that's a filmmaker, part of the group, and you have that whole media behind it. You get to tell your stories. He gets to talk about the topic he wants to talk about. You don't have anybody dictating to him. You can't talk about this. I don't want you talking about that. I don't want you filming this. I don't want you talking about this. So long as you have the support of the people and the guys in the group, mainly the brothers, that allows us to do these kind of stuff. It allows us to tell these kind of stories, and allow us.
Oh, Al, you got it. Yeah, Al, you have a lot of material because you ought to hear some of these guys' stories. It's mind blowing.
Well, I opened it up where anybody in the group that wants to be a part of Frustrated 3 to tell their stories, I want to reach out to them too. I'm trying to reach. This is our film, so it's not just me. I'm gonna shoot the way I want you guys to be able to tell your stories and have it affect mainstream. We're taking it out, put it on the screen, and you inspire other younger men who's going through something and say, hey, you know what? I saw this film, and you know what? I'm gonna slow down here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get my passport, I'm gonna get my education, get my passport, and I'm gonna start traveling. I don't have to deal with this stuff in here because I have options now. Most people feel traveling, they don't have anything. Right, so you get to inspire. You inspire the younger generation with your stories, and that's what it's all about. Empowering each one.
Yeah. Hey Al, that Frustrated 2. Now that content was very valuable. If I'd have known that 18 years ago, I would have thought about, hey, wait a minute, getting married? I said, wait a minute, I got a whole life ahead of me and stuff like that. Because at the time I was immature. And I heard these child support laws. I didn't know all that stuff.
Neither did I, man.
I had no clue. Very illiterate to the court system.
He changed, basically with me, he changed up how I was living. Okay, I would still have my little side piece here and there, but now I'm even afraid to mess with that side piece here in the U.S.
Hey, that side piece is irrelevant.
Yeah, but that side piece can damage my whole deal here, okay,
Well, for me, the blessing is, man, when I hear young men and young brothers hit me up on the thing, and a lot of them didn't know that the fact that if you date a woman with children, for about 6 months or so, that you could be on the hook for that child support, regardless if she's receiving child support or not. If that kid calls you daddy and all that stuff, you could be on the hook for that. So a lot of them been hitting me up saying, man, I didn't know that, man. Thank you. I got to stay out of that lane. That's a dangerous lane.
We all thank you, Al. Oh, thank you.
Well, like I said, can you imagine if I had to go try to? I funded that out of my own pocket. I put all that money up myself. Could you imagine me going to a white racist company asking them for money to promote Frustrated 2 to how to keep brothers from getting in jail, from getting caught up in the court system? Could you imagine them giving me money to do that film? It would have never happened.
Right out the building.
It wouldn't happen. They told me I'm crazy.
Like I say,
you're not crazy, Al.
That's all the more reason why we got to do this film. On the brothers need to come together, and we can build this film. We can build this film this year. Okay. All right. I'm going to be putting out a couple more posters in the Facebook group as we speak right now. All the Facebook groups I manage. Okay. It's the opportunity. If you don't want to go through
GoFundMe. If you look on the pin post in the Facebook group, you'll see a P.O. box with Al's P.O. box. I know Al, you're gonna probably mention it again. You know, our P.O. box here.
Yeah, P.O. Box 130 is P.O. Box 133. That's in Scarsdale, New York, 10583. I'll post something up there as well. If you feel comfortable sending the money order or a check, and you don't feel comfortable going through the internet and through GoFundMe. But the importance of it, like I said, man, it allows us to tell our stories. And trying to get funding from outside of there to produce a film like that to help brothers and protect brothers, that institution is not going to give me money for that.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, this goes right back to what I said earlier. You know, here we have a chance financially to build a movie. Let's start with that. Okay? Let's start with that. Then let's see how we can build businesses later on. All right?
Yeah.
Like our lack of reparations and everything like that. And maybe later on down the line, we can buy the Congress, buy the Senate that we need to go and give us the rights that we've been looking for. This thing starts small, it can grow big. All right?
It's like with your show. You started, a couple of years ago?
I started,
Did a couple of videos?
Yeah, about almost 2 years ago, almost. And like I said, started off as a half an hour show, and I figured, okay, I'm going to basically spend 30 minutes talking to myself, and then like I said, it kept growing, and out, and my man V kept saying, look, man, we got to grow this thing bigger than half an hour, getting too many calls. Okay, we start with an hour, now it's 2 hours. I mean, still talk about another show as well, we just can't handle the call value is so high. So, we got to go and we got to build things. Everything starts off slow. Everything is a building block. You got to pay your dues. Okay?
Of course.
And like I said, that's what we're trying to do right here. Al, like I said, he's paid his dues. All right? There's no promise. We're headed towards his third film. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We don't got guys out here, we're going to make a movie, follow something, and then the movie never comes out. But yet the money's gone. That's just, but like I said, they don't roll like that. We got a chance to, this is, like I said, this is the thing. The person who did that, okay, is still talking to dog about the same people who gave them money. Okay. That's another story. Okay.
That's another top. That's a whole thing. Another story. But you got enough material to do the whole Charles Tyler show for the next couple of years. You got enough material.
Exactly. Exactly. And like I said, but the next thing the number one project right now that, we want to do, me and Al want to, like I said, bring to the brothers is Frustrated 3. We get that out there, it's a wrap, okay?
And also, too, I like to do, now I know the bros in the group, and we got like over 12,000 members and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they can donate $10. $10 is not nothing. It's a start.
Yes.
$10 gets donate $100. $10 each person. We'll get that movie popping off.
Yeah. And then some.
So $10 gets the movie done, completed, and on the screen.
There you go.
Done.
It gets it there, done. And how I know that? I've done it. That's how I know. I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, everybody, people in the group that are fans are frustrated. I've done that. Frustrated. You like Frustrated too? You so Frustrated too? I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And to anyone out here who hasn't seen Frustrated 2 yet, got a lot of people who came up to me and asked me about it and everything like that. The link for Frustrated 2 is in our Facebook group, Afro-American Men versus Afro-Brazilian Women Would You Date? It also will be in the brothers who escaped Matrix USA for Brazil, going to be in that Facebook group too as well. Also will be in, the link will be also available in Afro-American men versus Afro-Brazilian men would you date part 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna
come on, fellas. It's only $10.
Yep. It's like I said,
$10.
And frustrated 2. The fee for that is only $5.99. The view stream it immediately. Okay, we'll catch it right then and there. $5.99. Watch it today.
It'll save your life.
Yes, it will. Like I said.
Hey, that $6 is the best investment I ever. I'm like, it's amazing content. Like, I didn't know that.
Like I said, it opened my eyes. It opened my eyes up too. It shocked me. I think Frustrated 1 pushed me over the fence and sent me to Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrated 2 is the movie that's going to keep me, going to protect my passport, protect my checking account, protect my life,
protect your assets.
Okay, my assets and everything. Okay, we have a lot of brothers lose their passports over child support. Okay, child support. Now, brothers out there, I understand now. You can still get your passport even if you do have a criminal record. You can still get your passport. All right, based on, of course, it depends on what got what your felony is and everything like that. But if you owe child support, it's a wrap. You're not getting your passport. Okay. If you owe child support, you owe a certain amount. You're not going to get your passport. And in some cases, you're going to lose your passport too as well. Okay. So that's how serious Frustrated 2 kind of woke the game up. And like I said, Al, I'm sorry, that thing about dating a woman with children, that's the thing that almost got me.
Hey, Charles, you mentioned that on your show and said you got to pay. I said, bullshit. Ain't my kid. It's not my problem. You got to pay. That's the law. I said, get the hell on out of here. No, those are not my kids. No, because according to the law, you have to pay. Someone's got to pay. I said,
yes, someone's got to pay.
Oh.
These things are setting, these rules are setting it all up. And like I said, you don't have a right. And like I said, so it's best to just, keep it in your pants here in America.
Well,
or be the sock on a pickle big time. Okay?
Like they always say, ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Yeah, I heard that before. I heard that in Texas, yes.
Yeah.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
No excuse. I didn't know, I was dating a chick and she had kids, but, she was with, the father was paying. What happened if he dies? Who's next? I'm saying he get in an accident. He decides he don't want to pay anymore. Or he gets incarcerated. Who's next? Who's next in line? You there. Wait, these ain't my kids. Wait a minute, but you've been acting like a father figure. Picking the kid up from school. You call your daddy. You don't correct that. You next. You on the hook. You on the hook. And you dating a woman with 2 kids and you on the hook child support for 2 kids that's not even yours.
For 18 years? Oh, God. Man.
And college. Don't forget college. Kid wants to go to college.
Yeah.
That's a hard pill. That's a hard pill to swallow. Taking care of somebody else's kid. You're picking up the load for somebody else.
It's crazy. It's definitely crazy.
And the law backs it up. You'll be on the hook on that. So I just try to educate brothers, man, to avoid that. So you can move, you can move around freely. Keep your passport, keep your change on you, and Frustrated 3 is going to tell you the options you have outside of the matrix, outside of dating, outside the matrix. Your options. You got better options. You got better options.
Frustrated 3 is going to be where you think Frustrated 1 was stronger than Frustrated 2, where it was informative. Frustrated 3 is going to be a bombshell. It's going to blow it all. It's going to blow it up big time. Right,
we're going to make them mad. We're going to make them all mad.
But we got to make it all. But we got to get it going. We got to get the finances going to make this happen.
so we can make them mad. You know, they tell you, like, you know, for dog, when you get a mad dog, there's no cure for that. You got to put them down.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do with a mad dog, but put them down. So I'm going to make them mad. I'm going to make them mad.
That's right. And I'm going to be, you got the perfect wingman, too. Okay? We're going to be, because I done made a lot of people mad.
I won't make them mad. Go ahead and put them. Go ahead and put them out the pasture. Just go ahead and put them down.
Yeah, they going under the bus. They jumping off bridges. It's a wrap.
Most definitely.
Yeah, you know, because I do a lot of research, man. I go into it. I do the research on it, so I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about, how the system is designed. And a lot of people don't realize, you know, when it comes to dating, that's all finances. It's all finances.
That's right.
Dating, sex life, marriage is all finance. You got to sign a license to get married. And when you fill out that license, it goes into whatever it goes by into the business file. It's a business.
And also too, you got to get a blood test too. A lot of people don't know that.
You got to get blood tests and you got to fill it out.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's a whole lot to take in here. But Teddy, we got to get some more callers lighting up the line here. A lot of people.
Oh yeah, I heard some bleeps. I hear the bleeps and all that type of stuff. But it was nice talking to you, Charles, B, Al Greaves. I did put some respect on it.
Yeah, you put that respect on it, man. I got to get old Charles. Keep calling me Greasy. You gonna start respecting me, man.
Grease. All right. I've been saying that for the last 5 years. I mean, on the wrong. But I'm gonna get it.
I'll work with him. Hey, I'll work with him, Al. I'll work with him.
Thank you, brother. Hey, listen, man. Once again, man, I appreciate your support, brother, man. Thank you, Teddy.
I'm looking out.
Hey, no problem, Al. No problem. All right. Peace out.
Peace.
All right. Peace there, my brother. All right there. Okay, we got our next caller coming in from the 404. I know he's been holding on the line. 404, your mic's open.
Hello, fellas.
What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good. What's going on, y'all? I just wanted to say, I like the way y'all taking the conversations now. But Al Greaves, like I said, he just hit on something real good. How he wants to tell the story, or our story, and we make the movie. Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing, because when you're discussing reparations, we're going to eventually brick wall where everybody else has ran to, and we're going to have to say, we got to do this ourselves. Just like the movie. We got to do everything ourselves. We don't need any what we got to do. That's all we got to remember. We don't need anybody else to do what we got to do. So I'm going to double my donation to this movie, and I'm going to let you fellas talk. But that's all I want to say.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, brother.
Appreciate it. Like I said, we got to.
Is he still on the line, or he left?
His mic's closed, yeah.
I didn't get the brother's name, man. If he could type in, man, I want to give him a shout out. He didn't state his name.
Okay, well, like I say, just make sure. Just want to also put this out here too. If you decide that you want to give a donation in the GoFundMe, please do not use anonymous. What is that, man? Anonymous. Okay, you do that, that kills us right there. We can't figure out who sent the money, whatever. Especially if you're going and trying to make yourself eligible for the grant. And
yeah, cut you out.
That was Alvin Thomas.
Alvin Thomas?
Yeah, it was Alvin Thomas, right there. From Atlanta. You're looking at Alvin.
Yeah, thank you, Alvin.
All right. Okay, we got a next call coming in from 215. 215, your mic is open.
Hey, what's up, Charles? What's up, Al? It's Val, P-Man.
What's
up, brother? What's up, P-Man?
What's going on?
Yo, Al, I saw your movie, Frustrated, man. It's my life. And it just confirmed, like, here in the U.S. is a joke, you know what I mean? So not just the child support, but it's like when you're trying to see a female who's American, doesn't matter what race she is, she's gonna give you a hard time, you know? So why fight hard for something that could mess you up in the past? In the future.
That's right. And that's why we want to do Frustrated 3 to show you the options you have in dating outside of the matrix. Going outside of here, what kind of options you have, whether it's be Brazil, Colombia, Dominican Republic, or even Thailand. You have options. You got other options instead of dealing with this system here. This system is designed to break you down and strip you financially.
Exactly.
Once you get involved in that, that's what happens. When you start hitting your golden age and 40 and 50, you've been getting killed from your 20s all the way up. Taking all your money, you've been getting killed from that point on. So when you look at that age, you don't have nothing. Now you're trying to rebuild at 50 years old, 50, 60 years old. It's not a good look. Not a good look.
But that sucks, man. I want to ask you, like, I know this law is in New York. Like, if you with some chick for like, I think 5-6 months, and she could put child support on you. But I'm in Philly, so is it the same thing here in Pennsylvania?
Oh yeah, no, it's not just in New York. It's not just in New York. What happens a lot of times it's up to the judge. The judge discretion. He could decide. He won't hit you. He gonna hit you. And once he hits you with it, you can't get out of it. New York has it on the books. I'm not sure. I think Georgia has it on the books. There's a lot of them that have it on the books, and a lot of time it comes up to the judge's discretion. It depends on how hard the female fight. If she says, "Hey, he's been calling my son been calling him daddy. He's been there helping and taking care of the kid." Okay, well, let's go. He's on the hook. And a lot of brothers get caught up where she's getting child support from somebody else. They can still tack you on as well. Even though she's getting child support from somewhere else, you can get tacked on as well.
Wow.
And then you got to take into account, what if the guy sees you there with her and he decides he's going to book? He books. Or he gets arrested. Or God forbid he dies. Who's next?
You on the hook.
You next. You next in line.
Wow.
So is it worth it? In the long haul, is it worth it?
It's not worth it.
What are your other options? Any young man dates, he's looking, he lives here, what are my options? So you say, well, you can go over here. Well, how much does that cost? That's what the film going to provide you with. How you can take that same money that you're wasting here, getting caught up in the system here, you can take that over there and have the time of your life.
There's certain things about when you're trying to impress ladies here so you can date them and all that stuff. You gotta wear the $300 Air Jordan sneakers. You gotta drive around in the baddest car on the block sometimes. All right. So let's take some math here real quick, and then we're gonna return to the subject of reparations. Let's take the math here. All right. Your sneakers, $300. Okay, well, 2 pairs of Air Jordan sneakers is a round-trip ticket to Brazil. Okay? All right? Your car note on that 22, like in my case, I used to own a Dodge Ram 1500 with 22-inch rims on it. Okay? Well, with the car, I had 2 of them. All right? So, 2 of the baddest-looking trucks in West Philadelphia. All right? With the car note and the insurance, that was $1,200 a month I was paying. All right? $1,200 a month, right, would give me a guaranteed 2 weeks in Brazil. $1,200 a month now. Not $1,200 every other month, but $1,200 a month. Okay? And that's why when I gave my trucks up, I started going down to Brazil every month for the first, I think, from 2011 all the way up to 2013, almost every month, if not every other month. Okay? All right? You can dress, of course, I still dress decent and everything like that, but I don't have to get the latest designs and all that stuff. I'm trying to impress some chick. Okay? Who's only going out with me because of looks, or because of what I'm driving, or because of what I own. Okay? You see how much money you done saved already? Okay?
I'm gonna tell you a quick story, Charles. Listen, I live in New York, and I got a good friend of mine. He called me up, man. He said, "Listen, I got this chick, man. I want to go out on a date, but I got a regular friend, man. Why don't you go on a double date with me?" And I said, "Listen, man, you know me. I don't fool with broads here in the Matrix. That's not my thing." He asked me to do him a favor. I said, "I'll do you a favor." We're down in Soho, in New York. He buy the first round of drinks. So I told him I got the next round. I went up there. Bartender told me $100 for 4 drinks. For 4 drinks. And I know $100 in Brazil turns into $400 as soon as I get off the plane.
Yeah.
My $100 in Brazil go to $400 as soon as I get off the plane. $400. And I told my man, I said, "Listen, dog, I love you. Don't buy me no more drinks. I'm out." Mathematics don't make sense for me.
Well, see,
you know what I'm saying?
Once you're out the matrix, that math will automatically kick into your head because that's the same thing what happens to me.
Right. It makes no sense. I'm not buying $100 rounds of drinks. No, that money going with me cross seas, and I watch it bubble.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like this, because you look at the way you go to going to the movies these days. Just going to the movies these days, that's almost $100.
Yeah, expensive.
Okay, that's okay. So if I gotta take a broad to the movies or out to dinner in the movies, right? That right there is almost 500 reais. Okay, 500 reais over in Rio is a nice little weekend of fun. Okay. All right, you having a blast. Why do it one night when it can be 3 or 4 nights with that type of money? Okay, see, that's the finances. A lot of brothers need to look at when you travel. You don't know this stuff until you travel. You don't know this stuff until you get the passport with some prints in it. Okay, you don't know how far the U.S. dollar is strong. That's why we got to keep the Democrat in office. And not no walking bankruptcy machine named Donald Trump. Because the U.S. dollar, like I said, right now is strong. And it's going to remain that way as long as we keep Democrats in office. All right? That's my political statement right there for the night. Now, the thing about it is, like I said, our money goes far. All right? You know, so you got to look at it as, there's a lot of things that you're putting on the line here that, you know, financially going against you when you date inside the matrix. Okay? That's the thing. It becomes way more than just hating on women, on African American women here in this country. I don't hate on them. Okay? I just decide that, one, why put myself through all the bullshit? I got an easier road no more than 6,000 miles away. All right. 2, my dollar goes a whole lot stronger down there than it would up here. Okay. So those are 2 variables alone right here I don't need to be bothered with and keep it moving. You know, and all that. But, you know, like I said, you got to travel to understand this. Like, Al's been to Brazil a couple of times and all that stuff. I've been to Brazil. You know, and we know this. You know, and like I said, I'm just like him. I just don't date in the matrix. You know?
Yeah, I totally agree, man. Like, I never been to Brazil. I'm trying to hit there to November this year for the first time. But I went to the DR, but I heard that Brazil's way better. But talking about Frustrated 3, Al, you saying you have the donation drive. Like, when's it expired?
Well, we want to keep it going up to, let's see, November's the thing. I wanted to get it done by June.
Okay.
So we can go to Thailand. So we could hit Thailand and I can go film in Thailand. But if we don't reach that mark in June, then we're going to have to take it to September, October, so we can prepare for the November trip.
Yeah.
All right. So there's pre-production that goes into it. It's not, okay, here's the budget, then you go. No, you got to prepare. I'm a film guy. I'm a filmmaker. So I travel. I have a crew. I have my crew with me. So it's not a one-man show. It's a crew. I have my crew with me, then I have to write. I write the script because I'm showing both sides of the fences. I'm going to show you over there, and I'm really going to explore it here so you can see the difference. I got to make the comparison. I got to show you what's really going on here, especially with the laws in dating here, that if you tell your chick to shut up and she gets mad at you because she's out of line, and then she goes to the police and says, I want to put a restraining order on you, that affects you for your whole working career. Once they put that domestic on you, you stuck with that. So when you working and you want to get a raise in your job and they pull your record, oh, he's got some domestic violence. You say, no, I didn't hit the broad. I never touched her. I didn't do anything. She put a restraining order on me. Well, it's domestic violence, restraining order of domestic violence. And that doesn't go away. And then you fighting the lawyer, getting the lawyer $10,000, $10,000, trying to get him to get it off your record. And he know it ain't going nowhere, but he just take your money. Just took your $10,000. It ain't worth it.
It's not worth it.
Damn, we gotta work together. And speaking of together, it's like you're talking earlier about reparation, right? For the black community, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's not just Black Americans. I think it's worldwide because I'm not sure what happened in Jamaica and Haiti. Like they need some reparation from France and UK, and they weren't even giving up that money. That's why UK and France has got all this money, all this wealth.
Yeah, he's right.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right. Right. Just here. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know the reason why I stay. Because here's the thing, the reason why I stay on the United States is one, I know what's going on here.
Right.
But at the same time, we can give reparations in the United States. I guarantee we can give reparations anywhere else. Even in Brazil, which they don't even have probably even a clue of. Okay. That they made that country rich with the sugar cane, you know, and the ethanol, all that stuff that was going on.
Oh, you're talking about the Afro-Brazilians, though, in Brazil, right?
Afro-Brazilians, yes.
Okay, got it.
The sugar cane and coffee industry.
Of course.
Down in Brazil. Okay, you know. So if we can get it here, in the richest country in the world, we can get it straight down the Atlantic coast. Okay? Anywhere else here in the Americas.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because it hurts my heart, man, when I see that. It's like here in the U.S., you see the black folks a lot of times, it's like living poor in the hood. You go to the Caribbean, the black folks living poor there, and in Europe is doing really good, and same thing in the favelas in Brazil. So you're right, man, and it sucks.
Yeah, well, like I said, you know, they took advantage of this. And like I said, all the other minorities, the Jews, the Indians, our Indian brothers and sisters, they all got paid.
Right.
They all got paid. And like I said, their Holocaust, their genocide was nowhere near what Afro-Americans, Afro-Brazilians, anybody of African descent has suffered over here in the Americas.
Exactly.
And continues to suffer.
When
you take away the money you take away the power. That's why when you say reparations to white supremacists, they come on now. You don't need reparations. That's not going to help nothing. That's not going to help raise relations. Well, you know what? Let's give it a try anyway.
No, you're right.
See what happens.
You're saying about the Jewish, not just they got the money, they even have their land, Israel, back. So we don't.
They got everything. The Jews, they got everything.
Yeah, we don't even got parts of Africa.
You know, they own all of New York. Okay, you know, they own all, you know, parts of Philly. You know, and then the Indians, they own the West. Okay, practically.
Yeah.
So they got tribal lands and all this other stuff. You know. So what do the African Americans got? Okay, well, you let Rush Limbaugh say it. Well, you blacks got welfare. Stop right there. You know, you can see the symbol. Rush Limbaugh looks like that perfect pig getting punched in the stomach, all that money coming out. Anyway, you know, the thing about it is when they say welfare was not made for African Americans. No way. Okay, welfare was made right after the Great Depression of 1929.
Right.
Back in the 1930s to spur spending. When you spur spending, right, spending creates jobs, creates revenue, right? And then before you know it, what was once a depression has now come back into play. Everything's starting to pick back up. Okay? You know, so that was spurred for white folks. All right, and who is on welfare now, percentage-wise? Great numbers, white folks.
Yeah,
and it's been that way. Of course, it's been even bigger since George fuck-up Bush came in there. All right.
Yeah.
You know, causing all the job losses here. Okay. So, like I said, they try to push welfare on us. You know, because especially because of the tag of what Reagan had put out back in the 1980s, calling I believe it was called welfare mamas or something like that, to that extent, you know, and, you know, like I said, we've been labeled, okay,
Okay, now a white man's going to, so white supremacy turns around and says, okay, your reparations is welfare. No. Welfare, that's a drop in the bucket. Okay?
Yeah.
And not every black person, like I said, you would say only 15% of African Americans are on welfare. So what about the other 85?
But it's the media. You already know the media.
Yeah. What about the other 85? We out here working. Okay. We out here doing our things. Okay. So guess what? 100% of African Americans have been paid reparations. And then here you come with Sean Handy. Well, you got black on black crime up here and black on black crime up here in Chicago. Well, I tell you what, if we have reparations, one, we could build better school systems. Better school systems mean the better students, which means getting from the streets. And if we have reparations, we can also build recreational programs for after school and everything like that, which limits the kids from joining gangs. If they don't join gangs, they don't go get guns, they don't murder each other in the street. Right. But if you take all that away like it is now, all right, have about 70 students in one class, all right, and only 10% of the students are going to get it, and the other 90% is are just basically subjects to the streets. Okay, that's why we have the problems going on in Chicago and also other urban cities across America. Leads right back to reparations. Okay, reparations. Wait a minute, we have reparations. That also means we can build better housing. All right, so our communities wouldn't be ruined, just like the Jews did. Okay, if we have reparations, we can have grants and loans to where we can build new businesses, buy our own, spend our own dollars in our own communities, and they go into a circle, just like the Jews did, and the Chinese and all that stuff who built the railroads. See how all this works? Of course. See how reparations it goes into a complete circle if we had it. Especially if it's spent right. I'm not talking about people getting $1 million checks in the mail. All right? And then just giving it right on back to white supremacy.
Buying clothes.
Okay. We go, we buy grants, get the money invested in the grants, loans, stocks, bonds. Okay? And before you know it, the African American is no longer a second-class citizen. Okay? That's another reason why they destroyed Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay? They destroyed it because if there was a chance that reparations would have ever come, right? It would come right through Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street would have exploded across the world. That would help other countries of who had reparational issues, like Jamaica, like Haiti, okay, like Brazil. Don't you know how big this thing is? And they try their best to keep it quiet. Okay? They try their best to keep it quiet. They don't want no one to know that that the black man, in America and also the world, the black man is known for being poor and his bills are overdue. What people don't know is the black man, the reason why his bills are overdue because we never paid him. White supremacy has never paid him. But the goal is to make sure that he doesn't remember that. That's why Johnny Cochran got dealt with. Because had he went to the United Nations and brought a case against America, oh boy. Okay. It would have worked. And he's talking about the greatest lawyer of all times. Okay. The Michael Jordan of lawyers, Johnny Cochran.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I know they took him out because of that.
Yo, man, that's big talk, man. Totally agree, but hope it happens. But I don't know. I will see my lifetime. But I don't want to keep being on the phone too long. But all I want to say is that, yo, Al, thank you so much for not being like a seller. Thanks for not selling out your movie to like BET, so they'll mess up the movie.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, that's not in my character, man. I can't do that.
Exactly. And the second thing I want to say is that, I'm going to see I could put some money out, help with a donation within next week.
Yeah, anything that helps, man. I appreciate your help, man. Appreciate your support as well, man.
All right, just to let you know, my name would be Val P, man, in the Facebook.
Val P, man, we got you, man.
Got you. I'm here to serve you, P.
Thanks. Have a good night.
All right, P, good looking out, man. Thanks for your call. All righty, we got another call coming in from 951. 951, your mic is open.
Hello?
Yes.
How you doing, brother? How you doing, Charles?
What's going on, money? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right. I'm somewhat of a frequent member of the TV show. The call show, and I just want to thank you today. I want to thank you for bringing in the brother for Frustrated 3. That's motivational for all those brothers out there. I am planning to donate $50 to the program. I got that coming real soon. I just need a little help. Charles probably knows me now somewhat well, and I need you to hit me on Facebook and inbox me. I'm kind of having a rough day, and I appreciate you your message. I was tested by the military, and I didn't get in again, man. I didn't get the scores I needed. They tried to push me in, but it didn't work out. So, I'm still another brother out here in America, in the grind, in the matrix, still grinding. But I thank you guys for your financial perspective on how you put things. And actually, worst case scenario, whether I can get in the military or not, Brazil is actually not that bad away. 2-3 days of working 2-3 dead-end jobs like I've been to, I can stack up $1,200 pretty quick. So you're saying that's flight and all, that's 2 weeks in Brazil, a flight and everything is about $1,200 expense round trip?
Yes. Let me tell you something about traveling to Brazil. People think that it costs a lot of money, and it doesn't. All right, it's all about strategy. Okay, my first trip to Brazil was $1,400 for a total of 20 days.
Wow.
Okay, and that was during the time when the U.S. dollar was not strong.
Wow.
So now it's strong, very good. All right, even though it doubled, it went down to a little bit. It went down to about 3.5, but still 3.5 is still good. I still see it going back, but I still see it going back up too, because we're heading into the we get past the summertime. And so we stay at 3.5 past the Olympics and all that stuff past the summertime. All right. And we get it. Someone's got to return here. Hold on 1 second. Somebody's mic's open.
Hey, how you doing? Hello?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, your mic's open. There's a lot of background there.
Okay. But yes, that's actually not bad at all, Charles. I can make that happen. I appreciate you guys listening. I'm still out here, man. I actually called off work tonight, man, because I don't, I'm that young brother out here in Vegas. I don't feel like frying chicken tonight for $12 an hour. I don't feel like doing it right now. I'm not in the mood, so I took the night off work. But, I'm just, it's just sad. Then, like you said, like most women in America, it's just like, I think the quality, because I'm 26 years old, I'm mature 26, and, a lot of the brothers from Facebook and on the show hear my voice and know me often. I'm pretty mature, and I'm just like, long-term, Joe, if I did were to be that positive black man and just keep working 2 or 3 dead-end jobs and try to buy a house. I got a brother that's an ex-con. He turns his life around. He saved up $15,000 in about 2 years of working himself down near to death. And just to put a down payment on his mind, if he can rent the house out, maybe make a little extra profit on his monthly pay rate that he has to do or whatever. But at the end of the day, it just seems like, the brother took years off his life. He stayed up 2, 3, 4, 5 days at a time working minimal jobs just to put a down payment on a house. And I see where his long-term perspective is, but it just disturbs me so bad because it's like there's no hope in America, especially for majority of young black men, and there's no hope at all. There's no, that's, I'm trying to keep my morale up because your morale is half, once they take that, but, I felt, like I said, I'm still going to get into Air Force Navy, and, I'm out here, working these minimal jobs, and it's just so stressed out. Then a couple days ago, excuse me if I get a little emotional, y'all, but I went into fucking CVS, and this
probably 56-year-old white man out here in Nevada. Fuck, I walked in the store just to buy some, some caffeine pills because I don't like to drink coffee. I wanted to stay up and study for my ASVAB, which I didn't get around to. There's so much stress, but I went to get some caffeine pills. As soon as I go into CVS, I need help. So I'm looking around the store for someone to help me. I make eye contact with the gentleman, and, like, he half-ass acknowledges me. So I'm thinking, okay, working man, we're all in the struggle, dead-end job, maybe he's busy, maybe he's frustrated, having a bad day, whatever. Okay, I'll try to find him. The man, a couple of minutes out of nowhere, and he tells me, first thing he comes up to say, I used to do loss prevention. I know about the whole preventing people from stealing. You go up to the customer, unless you visually or physically see someone on camera or with your own eyes, you don't accuse people of nothing. The man then asked me, I won't help her. The first thing the man said was, what do you have in your pocket? What? Now, mind you, I'm a 22-year-old black man. I'm far from stereotypes. I've never been in prison. I've never been in gangs. I work my ass off to fucking be somebody in this world. I'm trying my best to be some fucking body. And the first thing that motherfucker tell me is, excuse me, y'all, I work so hard. I'm at a breaking point right now. I'm at a fucking breaking point in America. I'm so tired. Then he told me, what do I have in my pocket? And I checked him, but I was just so hurt. I called his corporate manager and everything tomorrow, and I'm going to get that man fired. But I had some old fucking Jim Crow white boy out here, even on the West Coast. A lot of people say, don't go there. It's everywhere, man. This motherfucker, first thing he told me, and I pulled out like $180. I can buy anything in this goddamn CVS right now. Don't you ever fucking stereotype me and disrespect me like that your fucking life.
Well, welcome to America, man. This is America. This is white supremacy at its best right there. And let me tell you something, brother. Don't you get upset about it. Don't you get upset about it. Because that's what they want you to do. They want to see you upset and all worked up because they want to turn you into the angry, upset black man. That's what they try to do here in white supremacy America. How you do this, man, is you get yourself together and you get your money together. All right? You get that passport for starters. Okay? Clean yourself up, brother. You get that passport for starters. Okay? You get your visa, and you show these motherfuckers you can country at any time. Fuck them. You can take your money elsewhere.
I did. I went to Walgreens. I told them. And
that's the key. That's what you do. Listen, anytime somebody disrespects you like that, and you spending your money, that money you got in your pocket is power. Anytime a man disrespects you like that, throw this shit on the floor and walk out. I'll take my business up the street. I'll take it somewhere where when I walk in the door, they call me Mister. Excuse me, Mister, how can I help you, Mister? Yeah, that's respect there. You have to demand that. Nobody's going to give you that. You demand that with your dollar in your pocket. Your dollar in your pocket.
And I did
take it elsewhere.
I did, and I did the necessary thing, and I'm calling corporate, and I'm doing the educated American man thing, using my brain. I'm going to report this Jim Crow era motherfucker, and I'm going to get him because, and then it was cold about it. This is a woman out here in America that's a white woman that knows what time it is. She didn't even say anything. She just came up and gave me the number of the corporate that called him. A white coworker witnessed this shit. And I'm just saying, it's not a surprise. Like, if I was in some small town down south in America, like Tennessee or something, young brothers kind of expecting a raise or some stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because you still got Jim Crow dying out. So, but,
Jim Crow ain't dying out. It's coming back. Jim Crow is coming back. Especially we wind up with a Trump president, or Ted Cruz president. You best believe Jim Crow will be back and stronger than ever.
And
that's the reason why brothers need to start getting their passports right now and start thinking about living elsewhere.
Yeah, but I think you guys, Brazil is nothing. I mean, a young man like me, focus, I can save up about $2,000 to $3,500 in about 2.5 months when I really grind. Even though I'll be miserable in 2-3 days with no sleep, I can make it happen. And I'll keep that in mind, along with still studying for the ASVAB and stuff. I can pass that test. I don't know. It's just rough. Everything happens for a reason. But anyway, then after imagine going through that, the next day taking your test for military and failing. I let that stuff go. I blocked out all the negativity and stuff. And it just, I don't know if it's destiny or God trying to, take me in another route. But, anyway, long story short, y'all, I'm just at a breaking point. Then I'm looking at my quality of women that I'm surrounded by. And I was just thinking about, brother, about 3 months ago, I bought a car. I had about $6,500 saved up. I was a brother on the bus, American No Kids. I was saving my money. I wasn't even working as hard as I could either. I worked at 2 part-times. I'm still not working hard. I'm not doing full-time yet. I could do 2 full-time jobs and stack up quicker. But anyway, I'm on the bus. I got about $6,500 to my name. I was just, I'm careful about the American women. I know how they is and stuff. I couldn't get a date to say just to have a woman's company. And, because it's been months and months, 5, 6 months. And it was crazy. Because nobody talked. I got my little car now, and I still got a little bit of bread left for saving up again. But I got a little whip just to make my working man life a little bit more easier. You know what I mean? So I got this car, and I noticed how all kind of women would approach me different stuff. And that's just heartbreaking. As as a young man in America with morals, like what I mean, you're surrounded. You're a black man in America. You come in a poor. I live in a roach-infested apartment. You're struggling with your military. You're working dead-end jobs. You get no love and respect from your people in society, the women in your society, even your own women have no respect for you and everything. And it's just like all aspects of life. Like you can't get no wife, you can't get no family. You got to go above and beyond to put a down payment on a house, not to buy a down payment.
Let me tell you something. Okay, it sounds like you got a load. You are putting a lot of load on yourself. Do you know that? You're putting a lot of load on yourself. What you need to do, you just slam on the brakes real quick. Okay? Slam on the brakes real quick. All right? Let's instead of putting all this load on myself, with all this stress now too, which is causing you to be upset. Okay? Let's try a little something else. I'm going to take a little break from all this bullshit. This is me talking to you. Okay? Forget about the broad here in America. Forget about this thing I might have in the future that's making us running rampant because I'm trying my best to get to it and stepping all these minefields and stepping in my way. I want to go, like I said before, I'm going to take me a trip. That's what I'm going to do. 2016, maybe 2017. I'm going to put my money together with all the bullshit. I'm going to get my passport and visa first, then my airline ticket. Talk to any of us as far as getting a place to stay. I'm going to come on down to Brazil, whether it's for the beach party, whether it's for some other date this year, or maybe next. Okay? I'm going to go, and I'm going to go on this trip. Okay? And I'm going to have myself a good time. Fuck the bullshit going on there. You'll pick all that bullshit back up when you go to the airport. Leave all the bullshit at the airport. But in the meanwhile, for these next 2 weeks, then I'm going to be down here outside of the matrix, outside of the bullshit, outside of the stress, okay, outside of the racism. I'm going to go to another country, and I'm going to have myself one hell of a good time. The best time I had 26 years of me and my existence. That's what I'm telling you, young brother. Okay? Let me tell you something. You ain't seen a thing yet if you're talking about what's going on here and all the problems here in this country and everything else. You ain't seen a thing yet. I've been in this country, been alive in this world a lot longer than you. And you ain't seen a thing yet. Most of your problems, we've been there, we've done that, and we defeated that. Why? The key thing is, like I said, I'm going to take a little clip from a movie I've seen here, all right? Anybody can get hit with a punch. The question is, how can you take a punch, get back up, and take some more?
Right.
That's your question. All right?
You're right.
But if I were you, and take some advice from a couple of older brothers here, all right? If I were you, I would cut off everything around me that's stressing the hell out of me at age 26. And I would set a goal on one thing that'll probably make me happy. Even if it's only for 2 weeks. Even if it's only for 2 weeks. Even if it's only for a week. Okay? Just to see if there's another place that will treat me different.
Okay. Charles, I got a couple other questions for you, brother. We all know the history of the struggle in slave worldwide stuff. These are topics we talk about almost weekly and stuff. And I just wanted to ask you guys, all these brothers out here, forgive me for my emotional state, but I was just, You know, I work so damn hard, and to be a social like that, I'm everything above a stereotypical black man in America. And, you know, I'm going through some rough times. I worked my ass off just to be a social like that. I was so hurtful, you know, especially, you know. But anyway, when's the next time that you suggest me going to Brazil, and give me the amount of money so I can have it ready? What do I need? How much do I need? And what date do I need to have the money by? That's what happened for my young brother who had a house.
I'm going to give you a whole lot of time to do this too, okay? Now,
I need to do it as soon as possible, actually, but let me know. I'll grind.
Well, I'm gonna put you in a time frame that when the money the money's gonna be strong. The reason why I have these beach parties in November, okay? One, it's the beginning of the summertime between October and November. The rain season's over. The beaches are jumping. All right. Two, it's before the peak season, before all the pricing and everything else starts to go up. The airline fees go up, you know, the room and board and all that stuff go up. It's the ideal time to come down in November around the beach party dates, which is on November the 17th through the 23rd. Okay?
Okay.
All right?
All right. How much money I need?
If you can get yourself together, $2,000. All right? $2,000. $600 for an airline ticket. You're coming out of LAX. I know where you're coming from. You're coming out of LAX, right?
John, no, I'm coming out of, what's the airport in I don't know, the Las Vegas airport. I don't know the name of it.
Oh, okay. You're from Las Vegas. Got me on that one. I have to check my reports on that.
It shouldn't be too much more, but pretty much with my flight ticket and everything.
Anything out the west still about between $600 and $700. Anything out the west. Okay. All right. Your room and board. Probably another $500 to $600 for about maybe a week, 10 days. Okay, you know you're spending money. $500 probably carry you for a whole 2 weeks. All right. Hopefully, U.S. dollar will be back up to $4 by then. Okay, it's only 50% down right now. Okay. So wow. You figure if you get about $2,000 together, I guarantee you 2 weeks.
Wow. I can do that by in the summer. I can have like $4,000.
That's between right here, right before May, all the way to November. Okay? What are we talking about?
I can do that. I can do that times 10.
That's 6 months starting in May. That's 6 months. All right?
Right.
You know, you can tell me that you can't get $2,000 aside in 6 months. That's just not just for you. That's everybody else out here in this listening audience. Okay? You know, and that's covering all your needs. Your airline ticket. Now, some people's airline tickets are probably going to be lower than others. I would say anywhere between $400 to $700. Okay? You know, $500 for spending money. Well, $500, if we go 4 to 1, it becomes 2,000 reais. Okay? Wow. Another $500 to $600 for room and board. Starting off with real rents for less with Mr. John Thompson.
Right.
Okay? I'm pretty much sure it's attainable.
Yes, I contacted Mr. Thomas, and he hasn't replied back. I'm not sure if he's busy or not yet, but you got my Facebook talk.
I can always put you in contact with him. I'll catch him for you. No problem.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And long story short, I ain't going to hold up the conversation, but, like, you know, it's just a heartbreak. Like I said, most women in America, especially, this is beyond the women that I prefer, usually African-American, Latino descent, for just the look, they're not worth a damn nowadays, and a lot of them color their hair and do all these weird colors and all this bullshit.
Look
nowadays, you can't find American women without kids nowadays, especially minority American women, and it's pathetic. And like you said, it's just kind of discouraging because one day I want to be a successful, happy black man, house, stable family stuff. It's like the women selection around me is bullshit. The economy is bullshit.
You know what you got, Bro, let me tell you something what you got on your side. Okay? You're only 26. That's what you got on your side. You got youth. You're 26. You know what I would do to be 26 again? Okay? If I could chop off 17 years out of my life right now to be in your shoes right now, I would love to be 26 and I could do it all over again. You're in a better position than I was. I was 10 years older than you when I first made my first trip to Brazil. I was only 4 years older than you when I first decided that I wanted to start traveling. You're only 26. You still got a way. You think you got the world? You think you got the weight of the world on your shoulders now? But I'm still giving you a blueprint to where the next couple of years, the next 17 years of your life, when you finally catch up with mine, won't be so bad.
Right. And let me just add this to the brothers. Listen, stay away from that American dream shit. That's a trap.
Exactly. That's a trap.
Stay away from that American dream shit. All that is a trap to get you to enslave you. And mortgages and child support and women's fees. Stay away from that shit. Stay away from that shit. And that was hard for me because I had to go against the values my mother and father was teaching me. Go to school, get a good job, buy a house, get married, have kids. That shit don't work today. It doesn't. It's not attainable today. It's not sustainable today. Marriage option. Right. I need viable options. And for me, when I realized I can get this passport, I can go travel and get treated like a king, get respect, and don't have to deal with that shit. Once I knew that, and my dollar go further over there, and I can't get respect here with it, I take my dollar somewhere else. I demand respect. I demand it. So, like the incident in the store, take my dollar up the street. Take it up the street, man, and don't load up your wagon so heavy. Because you're going up the hill. So when you're going up the hill, you got to just take the shit you need and dump all the rest of that shit out your wagon. So when you come down that hill, it's a nice ride. It's a nice ride.
You know what, Al?
No, because it's just so many, sorry, Jim. I just want to say real quick that it's just, you guys already know. We already know about the history of black folks from to the Zulu warriors fighting the British colony all the way to what modern day is and how white America and Europe and America are living off. They're taking the resources from diamonds and African sugar. We know they got resources from dark-skinned people all over the world. And, I know the history, and I just want to be something in America. Just the world in general. I don't want to be another black man. Oh,
you got to be something in America. What makes America so special?
Yeah, you ain't got to be it here.
They ain't gotta be here. Let me say something. I did it. I don't mean cut you off, Al, but I did a show last week. Stephon Marbury. He's a legend now. Not here in America, but over there in China. They just built a museum for him. Put a statue of him in front of a stadium. You think that would have happened here? No. You ain't Michael Jordan. You ain't Dr. J or Michael Jordan. You ain't getting the statue. Okay? He did it somewhere else.
You just want to be the best you could be in life.
Exactly. So you guys are pretty much telling me, take my hard-earned American dollars, because when all over the world, Australia, stuff like that, then I talk to a lot of people, and because I work as a server in a strip in Las Vegas, so I meet people from all over the world all the time, and like I said, I used to mention to Charles and other shows and stuff, just the people's demeanor and everything. And long story short, I can save up that money some. I could probably go to Brazil two times before November and still make it in November, because I can stack up that money easy. I'll contact you guys when I start stacking the bread again. But like I said, I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm going to study again for ASVAB. The Air Force Navy is automatically 6-7 month waiting list anyway, so I'm not getting in no time soon, even when I get everything taken care of. So I just want to have some, because out here in America, like I said, maybe you guys are right, I'm comparing myself to the American dream instead. When you're 25, you should have a college education, a house,
eliminate
maybe
that shit.
Because right now I'm looking at it like, damn, bro, you're 26 years old, you're a black man in America, you got good people in your life, ain't got no criminal record or nothing, and you're frying chicken for $12 an hour. What the fuck is wrong with you? And
it's putting too much pressure on yourself on the wrong thing.
Yeah, just lighten your load up, man.
All I know is this. I bet you, if you just take this one trip, damn, at your age, take this one trip, okay, and see what it's like. Get away from the pressure for maybe 1 week or 2 weeks a week. It will change your whole perspective on everything you want to do in life. It did for me.
Right.
I came back from my first trip to Brazil, and I sold both of them my $15,000 and $20,000 trucks. Sold both of them because I wanted to get back to Brazil. I knew that $1,200 a month car note was going to keep me from going. Okay.
I believe you, brothers.
And sold the other one.
I believe you, brothers, because I mean, I'm in your brother.
You know what I'm driving? I'm driving a 2002. I'm driving a 2002 Dodge van. Okay.
Saving money.
Saving money. It's already paid off. I pay only probably $65 in insurance each month.
Yeah, I got me a little 2006 Nissan Sentra. I paid $4,000 for the thing. You know, I still got a little pocket change. I got a stable car. I can take anywhere in the country. Just took a road trip back home in California to see my family and stuff. But
the bottom line,
you know, like I said, I know it's good, bro, because I've been to Mexico, and that's not nowhere near South America, Brazil, or anything. I'm one of the brothers. I did manage to make it out of the country somewhat stuff, and I've been to Mexico, and I already know Brazil's amazing, and Australia, other countries are amazing because just right across the border, they treat me like a whole nother human being, man. The women over there, we went to a club out there, and it wasn't no whorehouse club or nothing. It was just a regular, like, dancing club. You know, I got motorcycle brothers, you know, Latinos that ride in Mexico. When I go to Mexico, just the Mexican woman, they're like the way they were dancing with me, the way they were talking to me, it was like she was really into me. They were like real humble people. She was actually holding, I had my boy translating for me. She was actually holding a really good conversation with me, and it was just like, women in America don't do that. And I'm just 100 miles across the border in Mexico. They don't act like this. So I know I can imagine, a couple thousand miles away in Brazil, in Rio or Salvador. I could just imagine. So I just want to thank you guys for the encouragement and the financial possibilities of Brazil. It gives me something to look forward to this world, despite whatever happens with my military attempting to be entry or whatever. That was just good encouragement I needed because, like I said, I struggle with that test again. I'm still struggling to get in. Just the day before that, yesterday, I was accused of stealing, and I was in Black Man America. I was at a breaking point. I was going to fucking go grab that white boy by a neck and just beat the shit out of him. I really was.
Well, you don't need to do all that. Stop right there. You don't need to do all that. Forget about that. That's over and done with now. We got to start getting yourself, you're going over there and doing something stupid and getting yourself a criminal record where you can't get your passport and anything like that is gone. It's not going to help you. All right? Forget about that. It's over. All right? Now you know what you must do, my brother. Now, we got to get ready to move on to the next call, but I want you to think about that, my man.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Everything's good. Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
No need to apologize, man.
We're here for you, man. All right, Charles, I'll hit you up to find my donation, and God bless you and all the other callers tonight, and y'all brothers hold your head up and just stay strong. I'll do the same.
You hold your head up, man. Okay? You remember what I told you? I will. You hold your head up.
Thank you. I will, brother. Thank you, and y'all have a good night. Sorry about that, but thank you.
All right.
No need to apologize, man. No need to apologize.
Anytime. The thing about this, in America, there are a lot of brothers out here who've been wounded by the Matrix. Man. And this is some serious stuff, man. This thing is, brothers think, that this is the only thing. When you travel, you find out it's not. When you break from the Matrix, you find out it's a different world. It's way bigger than the United States.
Yeah.
All this added weight that's put on by the U.S., whether it's white supremacy and so forth and everything like that.
You get frustrated. You get frustrated by it. And part of it is...
He's a young man. He's only 26.
Oh, he's 26, man. Listen, he's trying to do the best he can. And he's out there trying to go about it the right way. And like I said, I do research, man, and a lot of it I had to realize, a lot of that shit came from my parents who didn't know no better. So you have to be careful when they pass that shit down to you. Son, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. And sell you until that.
I still get it. My number one critic is my father. Okay?
But the funny thing about my old man, I took a page from him. He was married, he's always been blessed to have good women in his life. My mother was one. But now his second wife is from El Salvador. He married another black woman his second time around, and not saying that my mother was anything bad or anything like that for him not to. But he tried something different, and he got hooked onto it. And he's been with his second wife for over 22 years now. But he's the same guy telling me, man, you sure you want to go down there? Sure.
Yeah, you have to listen. You have to. My mother's my biggest critic, man, and I love my mother, but I said, Mama, listen, this is a different world, different time, and she may not have known any better, but that's my mother. I love my mother, but she don't know. She don't know. My father passed away, so he's not here. But I have to. That shit Dave was teaching me, I have to get rid of that shit. It's a different time. That's why you get so many young men get caught up in the system, and they get so frustrated. They don't know what other options they have.
That's what I tell my father. I tell my father, and I also tell my mother too. I tell my father that women like my mother, that women like my grandmother, are dead or dying, one or the other. They're gone. Okay? But when I go to a country like Brazil, like Colombia, and maybe even the DR, okay? And even my ex-wife from Jamaica, before she got Americanized, all right? That right there is the type of design that tells me that there's still hope. There's still hope. But I got to go through the extra mile. You got to do the extra mile. You have to get the passport. You have to get the visa. You have to get on the plane. Okay? And you have to find out there. I want to squeeze in one more caller real quick. We got a caller from the 646. Your mic is open.
What's going on, brothers? What's going on? It's your man, Kev.
Hey, what's going on, Kev?
What's up, Kev?
What's going on, man?
Oh, good, man. Good. Me and Kev hung out, man, over the weekend, man.
Yeah. I saw y'all in the room hang out.
Yeah, Kev broke bread with me, man. I appreciate that.
Always a pleasure, man. How you feeling, man? They tried to assassinate my man Al Harlem, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. Hey, we broke bread, man. All of a sudden, man, my throat started closing up, man. It was hard to swallow. I said, oh, man, they tried to assassinate me, man. I should have known better trying to eat out, man. I don't know who watching me. They don't want me spitting this. They don't want me spitting this, man. I wind up good, man. I had to rush home, man, and see if I needed Benadryl or something, man. But I'm okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but Charles, I mean, I know after the last caller, man, just to shed a little humor on reparations, man. I heard it was a nice game going on, man. But nah, I think I don't know if we're ready. My opinion on the situation of reparations is I don't think as a people we're ready for it just yet. I mean, I think we're deserving of it. I think it's
definitely for it. Yeah.
We do for it, man. But I think we gotta be prepared for that when it comes, man. Because like you said, towards the trail end, we don't want to just give that money back. We want to be in a position to better ourselves. But I don't know if we are in a position to do that, man. Because we don't like the Jews, man. They're linked together by a lot of the other races and ethnicities in this world linked together by a uniting force, either that be tradition or religion or them being having some type of history based on where they come from or whatever country they come from. With African Americans, we don't really have that that tradition or that religion.
I don't mean to cut you off, Kev, but also they have an economic system in place.
Exactly.
That's what's important. Yeah, they don't spend their money outside of that. You being in New York too, and over there in Brooklyn, you go down by Williamsbridge, where my Hasidic Jews at, they don't spend their money outside of there. Their money circulate right in there,
right in the communities. So we don't have that discipline as of yet.
So I don't know if
we had it and it was destroyed. When they destroyed Black Wall Street, when they destroyed Black Wall Street, that was like I said, Black Wall Street was more than just killing 3,000 blacks and destroying a city. Okay, it was trying to destroy a future.
No, they destroyed your economic system.
Exactly.
That's what you got rid of. So now blacks don't have one. You don't have an economic system. I'm a filmmaker. My economic system now is the group there. I'm coming to the group. Say, hey, I'm your boy. I'm your filmmaker. I want to tell your story. You help me. Can you help me tell your story? So now I get support from the group. Because if I go outside the group and I said, listen, I want to tell the black man's story and show the black man he has options outside of here, they look at me like I'm crazy.
Exactly.
I want to tell the story how to keep black men out of the criminal system with the child support system and show them how to avoid the loopholes. They look at me like I'm crazy.
Exactly.
Get out of here. I'm not funding that. But if I say, listen, I got a good story, man. I got these boys selling dope, and they bought these, cocaine in, and they set up shop. Well, that sounds interesting. What happened? Yeah, man, it was shoot out. A lot of people got killed. They had dope all over. Yeah, how much money you need for that? How much money you need? How much money you need?
Always keeping us criminals.
Exactly.
And if you watch the format, especially not keep harping on BET, but if you watch BET format, you see that they're promoting black women, Black Girls Rock, Black Girl shows. They're promoting black women, and I don't know how many shows you can find on the television that actually promote black man's agenda, some of the issues that black men go through, or how many publications, news publications.
But here's the thing, like for example, on the Maury, back to the Maury show, right? The dude is always wrong. Okay, his woman could cheat on him 1,000,000 times, but he's still got to be the father of that bastard child that look like somebody else.
Oh yeah, they get upset when it's not his and he don't want to stay there and take care of it. It's not his child. He gets happy.
And then you got Maury all the time, being sympathetic. All right. Well, it was a honest mistake. Get the fuck out. That's what I would love to say to Maury. Get the fuck out of here. The broad done fucking 14 dudes, and she tried to stick a baby on me. Come on now. Come on, Maury.
Oh, I
look like you. Okay?
I mean, even if y'all look back at this past 2 weeks, I saw this a couple of nights ago, but they're gonna put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, and then they were gonna put they told me they were gonna
put Jackson on the back of it.
Put Jackson on the back of it, but they were gonna put I believe they're gonna put Martin Luther King on like the $5 bill.
But as far as I'm concerned, those are all distractions.
With the distractions, but
it's a sideshow.
Let me say one thing, Charles. I put a post up on my personal Facebook page, and I said, and I got a little bit of flack from females on this, and again, I said it because I wanted people to understand it. And I said, it's a distraction, but it's also a tactic that is being used to once again show that, the black man can never be at the head of the black family, and the black generation, he can never be the head of his household anymore. Because to even signify or to try to use the denominations of money or any type of signifcation, they're going to always put the black man under.
They're always going to put the black man. They could have put Frederick Douglass on. They could have put
Frederick Douglass. They could have put Nat Turner. They could have put.
They would not put Nat Turner. No.
I know that, but I'm saying they could have put Malcolm X, and they could have put, even Martin Luther King. And I said that, and dudes were saying, well, Harriet Tubman was ready to die and all this other stuff. I said, well, you could have put Malcolm X. He was ready to die. He did die.
Yeah, Dr. King died. Dr. King died.
Dr. King died. But a lot of people, they had, then you go into you get into the conversation of, they did this and they did that, and it comes back to a thing where you still come back to this black feminist movement or whatever they want to call it, where black women want to feel that they're equals.
I get it. I understand what it means, and I think that is one of the biggest distractions that you both are saying.
Well, like
that
I said,
is distracting us from being, economically free.
The thing about it is by putting her on that $20 bill, like I said, it's a distraction. I said before, I much rather would have my 40 acres in a mule than have Harry Tubman on the back of a $20 bill. Now,
I honestly
don't think
he ever gonna get that. It does take away. You know what I mean? But I don't think we ever gonna get that. I mean, I hope one day, maybe not be in my generation, my lifetime, but I hope one day we as black people understand like what does it mean to be economically free and have our own community of money. I think Al is doing a great job of that and having us brothers from this group funded and then having our names on it. Because when he told me about it over the weekend, man, and when I went home and it sunk in, and it says, and he said we're gonna have our names, like we're gonna be on the cover saying it was funded by this group. You know what I'm saying? This particular group of black men funded this project. That's a big thing, man. That's a big thing. That's huge. It's huge. It's our project. So when brothers, and I'm saying this as me talking to the brothers that's listening and other guys, when you funding this movement, if you get an opportunity, at any chance, I know the last brother was going through his situation, he still wants to contribute, but any brothers that can or want to understand that it's your movie. This is your movie. Al Greaves is just a hand that's, he's the creator. He's putting it together, but this is Frustrated 3 by us. You know what I'm saying? This is our story. Al Greaves is helping us tell it. He's gonna put it in the best light possible, and he's gonna keep it as real as possible. And that's what I got from Al Greaves. So if anybody's on the fence, I have sat and broke bread with the brother, and he is as real as they come. And trust me, he wants to make this movie. He's not scared. He's not backing down. I looked him in his eyes. He's not scared of anything going forward with this movie. He's ready. He's committed to it. But it's on us to make it happen. And I think we gotta make it happen. We gotta set it up and do it by ourselves. Because once we do this one, man, it's no telling what else we can do, man. But I'm gonna jump off. I know time is up. I just want to say one more thing, man. We're going to TJ Tijuana 4th of July weekend, man. Everybody, all the brothers in the group, if y'all want to come on down, definitely come on down. We're going to be there. And, of course, the beach party in December. And that's it, man. Al Greaves, thank you. I appreciate you, brother. As always. Hey, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate man.
I appreciate you, too, Vic.
Man.
Call, man.
All right. And I'm going to definitely holler at y'all, brothers. All right, brother, man. Be easy.
All right. Okay, Al, we have reached the conclusion of our show tonight, man. I really appreciate you as always coming back on and everything like that. We keep this thing flowing, man. And,
always, man. Appreciate you, Charles, man. And we're gonna keep at it, man. And we're gonna get this funds up, man. And we're gonna make history together.
We're gonna keep pushing it, man. We're gonna keep pushing it. Get this money up. Get this movie out there, man. No doubt.
We'll make history,
man. Always, brother, always. I appreciate you being on tonight. Also, to the brothers out there, once again, this is the Charles Tyler Show with my man Al Greaves, my wingman V on the other line in the background. All right, we're going to conclude this and we're going to bring it in for next week. Same time, same channel, Charles Tyler Show. Here's the Black Man's Option. Brothers, peace.
There's a direct relationship between having the businesses and being in prison. Go see how many Asians you can find in American prisons. You ain't gonna be in there. But 51% of the prison will be black because blacks don't have any businesses and industries. There's a direct link. Blacks won't practice group economics. Blacks won't practice group politics. If you don't practice, you're setting yourself up. As I told that 5-story building, you're setting yourself to get wiped out. Understand the nature of race, which is economic. If you build the first floor, it's economic. Build your businesses and your industries. Control business and industry, and that pulls in your money. And hold that money. And practice group economics with it. Arab and Asian money bounces 12 or 13 times for at least. Jewish money bounces 18 times. Black folk got to learn how to practice group economics. Black Americans spend every penny they get outside their own community. Then you take the money and the wealth that you get from that first floor and go to the second floor. The second floor is politics. You then take that money on the first floor and you control your politics. Black folk must quit allowing people to tell them to go out and vote. Vote for what? Nobody's going to do anything for black folk in politics. Politics is controlled by money. Major corporations got the money. That's what controls politics. If you have no money, you have no say-so, you have no benefits coming. So you take your money and you control, and you take your money on the first floor, you buy every politician on the second floor. And any politician you can't buy, you rent or lease them to get what you need. Then once you get the second floor under control with the politician, with your money, then you go to the third floor. The third floor is the police department and the court system. You take your money from the first floor and your politics on the second floor, and you control the court system and the police department. Then the fourth floor, then is media. You then take the money that you generate off the first floor from business and industries, and you go after radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, and cable systems, so that you can now inform and communicate with your own people. Right now, black folk only control less than 35 thousandths of 1% of the media in the United States. Out of 12,000 radio stations, black folk own about 75, 80. That's all. You own no cable systems. You don't have a daily newspaper. You have nothing of importance. You got about one black TV station. And so you can't communicate with your people. You can't inform your people. You can't do anything. You can have Rush Limbaugh and all the rest of the guys talking about racism all day long and bad mouthing you. And O'Reilly, they can call black folk all kind of names all day long. What are you going to do? You can't respond. You can't communicate with your own people because you don't have an economic base. 51% of all the prisoners in the United States are black people. You only make up 12% of the population. That's no accident. It's because you don't control the economics and the politics. They're going to go after the weakest people they can get their hands on to incarcerate. That's the black folk. And what are you going to do in response to it when they over-incarcerate you? You're going to go out and have a march, a demonstration. We're going to march. March what? Who cares? Marching, they never changed anything.